They have everything. And you are the thing they do not have yet. Not a possession, not a status symbol, not a reflection of how they want the world to see them. You, the specific, particular, irreducible version of you that exists when none of that is in the room. The version that has nothing to do with what they have built or what they have earned or what their name means in whatever world they move in. The version that would exist if they had none of it. That is the version they want beside them. And that distinction that they want you and not what you represent to them is the thing I want this reading to establish clearly before we go anywhere else. Because there is a person in your world who carries weight, not just in the material sense, though that is there. In the sense of someone who has built something, who is known for something, who moves through rooms with the quiet gravity of a person who has done the work and arrived somewhere real. They are not performing status. They have earned it. And the fact that they have earned it means they know the difference between what is genuine and what is not. They know the difference between someone who is drawn to them for what they have and someone who is drawn to them for who they are. They have seen both. They know immediately which is which. And they have looked at you and seen the second, clearly and without question. And it has changed something in them. Before we go further, take a breath. A full one. Whatever you carried into this reading, set it somewhere and be here properly. This reading deserves your full attention, and so do you. Let us go. My name is Jessica, and welcome to Moonlit Arcana. Let me tell you what it is like to be a person of genuine status who finds someone they actually want. It is rarer than most people would assume. Not because people with status are incapable of real feeling, but because their position creates a specific problem. Almost everyone around them has an agenda. Not maliciously, not always consciously, but the presence of status changes how people behave in its vicinity. People perform, people manage impressions, people position themselves. And the person at the center of all of that positioning develops out of necessity an extraordinarily accurate sensor for what is real and what is performed. They have to. Their track record depends on it. And then they encounter someone who is not doing any of that. Someone who is not adjusting their behavior based on what is in the room. Someone who would be exactly the same person whether this individual had everything or nothing. Someone who responds to them to the actual human being inside all of the infrastructure rather than to the infrastructure itself. That is what you did. Probably without even trying. Probably without even knowing that what you were doing was unusual. You just showed up as yourself, responded to them as a person, and did not recalibrate based on what they represent. And that, in their world, is extraordinary. That is the rarest thing. Now let me tell you what they want and why they have not yet fully said it. They want you beside them in the most genuine sense of that phrase, not as an accessory to their life, as a counterpart. As the person who is with them in the real parts, the parts that are not public, not presented, not curated for how they want the world to see them. They want someone who knows the difference between the version of them that the world sees and the version that exists when the doors are closed and the performance is off and they are just a person in a room trying to figure out the same things everyone is trying to figure out. They believe, based on what they have seen of you, that you are that person, that you could hold both versions of them without treating the private one as a disappointment compared to the public one, that you could be present for the human being without needing the infrastructure to make that human being worth your time. That belief is not small. It is the most significant thing they have concluded about anyone in a long time, and it is changing how they see what is possible for them in terms of real connection. Here is what the status complicates. And I want to be honest about this because it is real. Being wanted by someone who has a great deal creates its own particular kind of pressure. Not pressure they intend, they are not using it. But the sheer difference in profile, in public presence, in what it would mean for your life to move closer to theirs, creates a set of calculations that most ordinary connections do not carry. They are aware of this. They have been aware of it from the beginning, and it is one of the reasons they have moved carefully. Not slowly carefully, They have been watching you to see how you handle the weight of who they are. Not the public version that is easy to handle at a distance, the actual weight, how you respond to their opinions. Whether you hold your ground with them or adjust yourself to match. Whether you treat them as an authority whose approval you need or as a person you are genuinely in conversation with. Whether you are made more uncertain in their presence or simply present, you have passed every version of that assessment without knowing it was happening. And now they are not assessing anymore. They have decided. The question for them now is not whether they want this. The question is how to close the distance between where you are and where they want you to be without making it feel like a move, without the pressure of what they represent overwhelming what they actually want this to be. They want this to be simple, real, human, two people choosing each other on the basis of the actual thing, not the surrounding noise. Let me tell you what it looks like when a person like this begins to move towards someone they have decided they want. They do not pursue loudly. They do not sweep in with grand gestures or declarations designed to overwhelm. What they do instead is become more specific, more present, more deliberate about where they direct their attention. The ordinary interactions you have been having begin to carry more weight, not because they have announced anything, but because the quality of how they engage changes. They are more honest with you, more willing to show you the underneath, more interested in what you actually think rather than in managing how you perceive them. They have already started doing this. You may have noticed something shift in how they are with you without being able to name exactly what changed. That is the shift. That is them beginning to let you in to the part of themselves that does not get shown. And what they're moving toward, what this is building to, is an invitation. Not a formal one, a genuine one. An honest conversation, or a moment, or a series of small things that slowly add up to them making it clear that they want you in their life in a way that is more than what currently exists. That they see something with you, that they want to find out what that something is. I want to step outside this reading now and speak to you directly. I want to say something about what you might be feeling about this, because I think the instinct when someone of significant status expresses interest is to wonder whether you are enough, whether you fit, whether the distance between their world and yours is too much to cross, without losing something of yourself in the crossing. Here's what I want you to hear. You do not have to become anything to deserve this. You do not have to grow into the person who belongs in their world. You already are the person they want, the unaltered, uncalibrated, specifically you version. That is precisely what they noticed. That is precisely what they cannot find elsewhere. If you change yourself to match their world, you eliminate the thing that made them want you in the first place. Stay exactly as you are. That is not a consolation. That is the point. What they are offering is not an elevation, it is a meeting. One person who has built a great deal, recognizing another person who simply is something, and deciding that the second thing matters more than the first. You are the thing that matters to them. Let that be simple. That is what this reading has for you today. Take it with you. I will see you in the next one. One more thing, because the specific action that is coming belongs in this reading. They are going to create a moment. It will not look like an orchestrated thing, and it will be a genuine opening, a situation where there is space to be honest with you about what they see and what they want. It could be a direct conversation, it could be an invitation into a part of their life that they have not invited you into before. It could be something that changes the context of what exists between you, that moves it from what it has been into something that cannot be unnamed. When that moment comes, it will not carry the pressure of everything they represent. They will have made sure of that. Because what they want is your response to them, not to their status. They want to know if you want what is real, the specific, private, human version of who they are, the same way they want you. Your answer, when it comes, should be simple. Because the choice is simple. Not the circumstances, those are layered, but the thing itself. The actual question being asked, do you want to move towards something real with a person who sees you clearly and wants you specifically? That is what they are about to ask. And they already believe the answer is yes. They just need to hear it from you. There's still more, because this energy is not finished and I want to give you the full picture. The people in this person's world have noticed the change in them too. The people close to them, the ones who have known them long enough to see the difference between how they operate normally and how they operate when something genuinely matters, they have noticed. There is a different quality to them lately, a specific kind of aliveness that is not about anything they have acquired or built or achieved. It is the aliveness of someone who has found something they were not sure still existed for them, something personal, something real. They have not told anyone about you yet. Not because they are ashamed or uncertain, but because what they feel is still in the part of themselves they have not yet shown to the world. They are being protective of it, protective of you, in a way even before you are fully theirs. They do not want this handled before it is real. They do not want the weight of their world landing on something that is still in the process of becoming. That protectiveness is love in its earliest form. The refusal to expose something tender before it is ready. The decision to keep something genuine away from the noise until the foundation is solid enough to hold the exposure. They are building the foundation. And they are further along than you know